Hello, ladies and gentlemen. After a special with the user-generated content people, we're back. The duo infernale of the Back2Warcraft Podcast, Germany and Western Canada, reunited. Carson, how's life?
Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. Life is busier than I like it being. I like doing nothing for at least, say 10 days at a time. But recently I haven't been able to have that luxury. And I've been sick. You got me sick all the way from Germany. You got me sick. I've had a cough for 10 days now, Neo. It's unbelievable. But it hasn't been too bad.
Dude, I think that's a thing now. Because when I got sick, I got it from a dude that I'm working with for Rara Land, also via Zoom call. So he got me sick, and then I got you sick, all via calls.
Yeah, and it seems to be a cough for everyone too. It's like a cough and a sore throat. That's everyone I talk to, and it seems very contagious. And everyone's negative for COVID.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. Everyone tested negative, even though it's like some people have everything's a COVID-like symptom, though, to be fair. But everyone tests negative. I've never had a positive test in my life. It's always been negative.
Me too.
And I swear to God, I've had it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, you went to record an album with like 5 dudes in one room, and half of them were positive, except you.
Yep.
You're just immune, man. I was scared as hell yesterday about COVID as well, because I went to the former German capital, Bonn, to see the glorious band that is My Chemical Romance. And I went there with our mod and admin new hero. So we went there, and then I got a message from War3 History for Fishy. He said, "Hey, mate, are you in Bonn for My Chemical Romance?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's meet." So we went there, and we had a very, very good time. And a couple of days later, I get a text from him again. It's like, "Hey, my girlfriend, positive for COVID. Maybe you should check." Like, fuck, I'm at another festival that I got tickets to for 2 years, and I really, really, really want to go because it's my only these 2 weekends are the only real weekends where I have like private life and outside activities and stuff, and I really don't want to miss this festival. But yeah, negative, all negative. So I can go to another festival this weekend, see the old fucks that are the Offspring, the
nice.
old fucks that are Sum 41, and my old emo heart will jump for Anti-Shikari and Canada's truly only Silverstein.
Oh, very cool, very cool. How was My Chemical Romance? Does it hold up to this day? Do they still have the swoopy hair? Did they still play? And if you want it honestly, that's yeah. Do they still play all that stuff?
Damn, we gotta be careful to not get demonetized or flagged here.
I know, I'm just that good.
It was magic, dude. It was I don't know, 7,000 people, 8,000 people was an open air, and the crowd was between 55 and 12. So the old emo fucks. Who are now grown-up parents and brought their children. It was really, really nice. When the Black Parade started, with that little piano piece. Ding, 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 ding.
Recently listened to that for the first time, by the way.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. That was goosebumps for like 8,000 people. You could feel it. It was magic. Everybody knew all the lyrics. I was a happy little emo kid and had a wonderful weekend.
Very cool. Have you ever seen, this is a huge aside, but speaking of Canadian bands, have you ever seen Alexis on Fire? Did you ever in your heyday?
I did when I was 14, I think. And the singer/shouter, so not the City and Color guy, but the other guy.
Yeah, Dallas Green.
He climbed the stage on an outdoor festival to the very tippity top. These guys are insane. So I bought tickets for their tour in autumn.
Very
we'll
cool.
see them
Nice.
this year. Why are you
Dope.
asking?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of the few bands in, I guess, sort of that sphere that I grew up to listening. Whereas all these other bands, not a ton. I'm now sort of being reintroduced to them because I'm much more open nowadays to all the music that I'll never listen to back in the day when I was into Led Zeppelin and stuff. But Alexis on Fire was always, and City and Color I've seen like 2-3 times now. So that's one of the bands that I've always been really into.
Yeah, Canada's rocking.
Oh yeah. Neil Young, baby, for all the boomers. And Bieber.
Yeah, they got Sum 41, Silverstein, Alexis on Fire, the Banks Brothers.
True, exactly. Yeah, and we're playing with Wu-Tang, so I mean, we're killing it.
You're playing with Wu-Tang?
Oh yeah, do you not know about that? We're playing with Wu-Tang. There's a festival coming up. We're on the 1st of July, and we're playing with Wu-Tang and Sugar Ray. Should be fun.
What the hell? I really hope you get to know these guys somehow.
Hopefully.
That's supposed to be wild.
Yeah, they're playing about an hour after us. It's a festival, obviously, so they're playing about an hour after us. But maybe we can go side stage and meet Ghostface Killer. I don't even know who's still in Wu-Tang nowadays. I know all their old school stuff. I know all the old names, but ever since ODB died, I don't know who the hell's in Wu-Tang anymore. So we'll see though. But yeah,
you'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'm not good with names, but I'll learn them quick.
For the people who want to see you at that festival, what's the name of the festival?
Lake Town Shakedown, which is on Vancouver Island on the 1st of July.
That is
after Canada Day.
An amazing name for a festival. It got an elk in between two big PA boxes. That is an amazing icon as well. Dude, I love this festival.
Yeah, it'll be not our first. It'll be our second festival we've played, but we got plenty this is sort of our first festival circuit that we're catching when we actually have, people that want to see us and stuff. So this summer we'll be playing a few of them, but they tell us that you're not supposed to play too many festivals in like the same town. You're supposed to only play like one in every town. So it's hard when we're really only playing locally currently to do a ton, but we're going to do a few this summer. And then hopefully by next summer we'll be able to move around and do a few more. So this is really the big one for us.
Freaking busy. I'm still on the homepage of that festival, so I'm now at the lineup, and you're not on the photo that says Banks Brothers. And then I click on Banks Brothers, and I'm redirected to thebanksbrothers.com, and you're not on that photo either. Is the band trying to hide you?
That's an old website. We do need a website developer. I did that website maybe 3 years ago. I did it in like one night, not knowing HTML or whatever it is. I just sort of like, I'll put it together and then we'll hire somebody to do it. And now we've had that website for like 4 years. It shows the laziness of the band when it comes to anything other than the music itself.
As long as the music is good, man. As long as the music is good. Freaking Arkells are there as well. Great band.
Yep. Canadian as well. Yeah. Cool band.
Canada just rocking. Greatest bands all coming from Canada. But you know who did not have such a great weekend as we had?
I'm now afraid of having good stage presence, officially.
The Demo Man had a horrible weekend. The poor guy went to a wedding and hit the dance floor and shook it all out. And I quote, at Remo Demo at 1:40 a.m. on June 19, 2022. LOL, I just broke my leg. Like, no bullshit. From dancing Lemao. Double tibia fracture. Too hot to handle? What can I say?
That doesn't happen often. As someone who sees a lot of people dancing, and I'm sure you have the same. You've seen thousands of people dancing at the same time about, at least a few times a year for your whole life. That's not common. The Remo Demo Man must have really been killing it out there. It's unfortunate, but it is a little ridiculous.
That's probably the most Remo Demo tweet ever, also. I mean, we already contacted him. We talked about him. There is sympathy, and we wish him all the best. But that's hella stupid. I wonder what he did. I asked him if he got it on tape, because that would be 1 million clicks, obviously.
I like that tweet.
He said, "Bro, it was a glorious pirouette. Nobody caught it on cam, though, Sedge."
What move is that? What is that?
That's like when you spin around.
Oh, on like one leg?
Probably on one leg. But how do you break your leg twice doing a pirouette? I just want him to go on stream and, I don't know, reenact it, or at least tell the story in more detail than in whatever length Twitter is. But yeah, the Demo Man is out.
He is. I mean, he's pretty. He's pretty yoked. He's pretty ripped. Maybe he's a little bit top heavy. Maybe because
Yeah.
you only ever see the upper half of our bodies here on stream. Maybe he skips leg day, and
Skips
he's
leg
just
day.
ripped at the top, and then did a little spin like a ballerina, and his little chicken legs just couldn't handle it. Maybe, but I mean, having met him a couple times in person, I don't think he's too top heavy. Remo,
No, not
maybe you
really.
are. You got to work on them legs, boy.
Another update from him on June 20. Just got back from the hospital, and so I'm gonna have surgery on Friday. Can't really move too well or do anything other than lie down and hobble to the toilet. Gonna be staying with family for a little while. Guess it's time to finally work through my Netflix list. LOL. Demo Man, Demo Man, Demo Man. Today, when this is released, this is Friday. This is the day of the surgery. So all the best to the Demo Man. I'm pretty sure he will appreciate some tweets or Discord messages when he wakes up from that double tibia bone fracture surgery.
Yeah, that's I mean, surgery in any sort, even if you're getting a wart removed is, always spooky. You never know. So yeah, all the best. All the best, but he's a strong man. He's a strong man, and even if he's out of commission for a little while, luckily most of his hobbies revolve around watching something, whether he be watching Warcraft or be watching, I know he's really into movies and TV shows and all that stuff, so like he said, he can catch up on all that Netflix stuff. I'm sure he'll find a way to enjoy himself. And, he'd still be able to cast eventually. He just have to put his leg up on a chair and he'll be good to go. So we'll see him soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I wonder how long this will take and how long he has to rest. Then he's probably going to have, what's it called when you do some...
physical therapy?
This exactly. I don't know how long that takes until he can really walk again. I hope he's ready for Rara Land, but yeah, he might get a wheelchair, put the leg up and cast a little. Just don't get too excited when Colorful is once again losing games.
Yeah, hopefully those German surgeons are good for him. Hopefully he's not out of commission for too long. I don't know. Have you ever broken any bones? I've only ever fractured my collarbone. My best friend, when we were in the 7th grade, flipped me upside down and dropped me on my shoulder, and that's the only that's the only time I've ever fractured or close to broken something. Have you?
No, I never broke a bone. I had one surgery, but that was a beauty surgery, actually. I had, as Google is telling me, the English word is bat ears. They were like in a 90-degree angle from my head. Looked ridiculous. I was like Dumbo, the Disney movie elephant thingy. So
I like Dumbo.
Yeah, it's very scary though, that movie. So I went to my insurance and said, "Oh, everybody is so mean to me because my ears," and then they paid for it. And since then, I have normal ears.
Oh, that's dope. They paid for it. Holy shit! Yeah, I'd get everything done if they'd pay for it. Hell yeah, dude.
Germany.
Yeah, that's
Germany. Oh,
easy.
I just see I forgot to record the video. So this is going to be an audio-only episode because I really don't want to do this again. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
As long as we have...
intro? No
huh?
way.
Yeah, no. 15 minutes and we don't do this again. No.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, this meant a little more work for you, eh?
A little bit. It was, the nice thing, the thing I love about my life, though, is it's sort of, I'm really busy, like it's pure chaos for about Friday, Saturday, Sunday every week. And then once I get into the week, it's like, I could chill. I can stream ladder 12 hours a day, like I probably will today, and just get mad at my computer and, do whatever, watch streams. I could do the things, I could play guitar, I can have band practice, I could do the things I love, I could listen to music. But those 3 days are pure chaos and pure anxiety. This weekend was hell. It was absolute hell. Mostly because I've been sick, which sucks. It's one of my worst fears to have to cast and to absolutely lose my voice. And I was pretty close to that happening this weekend, which is really unfortunate because I like to try to do a good job, regardless of how much sleep I get. But to be talking like this is like I have a huge anxiety about losing my voice, as I'm sure you do as well. So yeah, this weekend was quite the grind without the Demo Man.
So you had the weekly on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
Did
And
did you
then,
play a show afterwards?
Weekly on Friday, and then I had one of my best friend's birthdays that I couldn't miss.
Ooh.
So I had to go to the birthday, right? So the weekly was done, and then I do all the YouTube stuff, and we upload that. I'm out of the house by about 2 p.m., 3 p.m. my time. And then I had to go to the birthday. Now, my friends are pretty heavy drinkers. On the weekends when they have birthdays, they're all working people. They're not complete degenerates, but they like to drink. They like to party. But I had to be back by 3 a.m. to cast Lin vs. Happy. And I knew I wasn't going to sleep. Probably not. And I knew I had to be relatively sober. So I go to this birthday. 20 people, all getting whambo and slambo and hamboed out of their minds. I know I'm going to have a couple of drinks, but I need to pace myself. And I'm also sick still. So, I get a pack of cigarettes. I'm like, okay, this at least won't make me drunk, but it will not help my voice that is fleeting. So I smoke. I have a few drinks. I managed to make it through the night of being there for about 10, 11 hours. I think I only had 5 drinks over like 10 hours. That's going to a party and then going to the bar afterwards. Everyone's buying each other shots of stuff. Champagne being popped. I think I only had 5 drinks. I made it back to my house by 1 a.m. I slept till 2:30. And then I got up, panicked horribly because I couldn't get into the games at first. I messaged you. I messaged Happy. I messaged Remo. And then we got me into the games. And then I casted until about 7 a.m. This is now Saturday morning. I go to sleep at about 7, wake up at 4. Go to a gig. Again, don't drink. Managed to get through the gig only having 2 drinks, which is actually the perfect amount. If you're in a band, by the way, and you want to know the perfect amount of drinks to have during and before a show, 2 to 3, and then you're just perfect for a show. And so I get home after the gig. Our show is from 10 p.m. till 1 a.m. Hour drive back home. Back home by 2 a.m. Start the kettle, have a tea. Moon versus Happy from about 4 a.m. until like 7 a.m. And then I'm asleep. And then I was going to do Fountain of Manor League after that as well. But I ended up just doing the replays. I think I did the replays on Monday. I was going to do them after. And then I just slept. I slept 14 hours with no voice. But so it wasn't as bad as it would have been if I had to do Fountain of Manor League. But still chaotic weekend.
That's so freaking crazy. And the fact that you deliver, at least on the casts, it's even more crazy. Like, people love you on YouTube. You get the best comments of, I think, all 3 of us. You're just a freaking trooper carrying this ship currently.
Yeah, it's it is unfortunate because at least how I feel about it is like I know from a casting side of things I can do it a certain level if like I'm have enough sleep and it's at the right time and I have enough voice and all that. I hate never really being able to give it my all because I'm like on 1 hour of sleep or something so I do hope soon enough. Because for War 3 Champions as well, it's like, okay, I'm on 2 hours of sleep now. Sweden, it's like, okay, I'm jet lagged and stuff. So I do hope eventually there's at least a tournament where I could like really be like peak. Like I've had 15 hours of sleep, 6 coffees. I've had enough time to eat breakfast and I'm good to go. So I can really, because sometimes, not always, but sometimes I feel like, damn, I was like half asleep during this. I missed all these details. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone being really positive with it. I do still think that's the honeymoon phase of me casting. People always love the newer casters.
That's so untrue. They hate new guys. You're just the exception to the rule. Whenever there's a new guy on a show that people love, they hate him at first. And then they get used to it, and then they jump on, I don't know, another player or whoever joins. You're just the exception, man. You're just that damn talented.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll see. Give me another 6 months and we'll see. Once I hit that 2-year mark. Wait, are we at 2 years yet? No, we're at 1.5 years. Yeah, give me another 6 months. We'll see if people still like me. I'll give you guys a reason to hate me.
We'll fly you in here to Hamburg, and if you have the time between all your band duties, then of course we can fly you in a day earlier or so, and then you won't have the horrible time you had in Sweden.
It wasn't quite horrible. Actually, Sweden wasn't too bad. I'm not good in hotel rooms on my own.
Dude, you traveled for what, 26 hours?
30 hours.
And you say it wasn't that bad.
True, yeah.
Trooper.
Yeah.
The resilience, the resistance against, I don't know, stress and fatigue. Unbelievable. Carson, this guy is unbelievable.
I've gotten pretty good at no sleep. I've gotten pretty good at it, which can't be healthy for you. But it's one of my talents now. I think actually is not sleeping and functioning.
Yeah, I had this too. I think when I was your age. Now, sleeping got a little worse, but I am one of the best when it comes to getting up. It doesn't matter if I have like 1 hour of sleep or 14. When I have to get up, I get up and I function.
Right. Yeah, that's the one thing with this job that we're fortunate to do. We gotta force ourselves to function. We gotta force ourselves to remember all the talking points, to speak coherently, to smile and look at the camera, to be on time, to have everything set up, to have the lights look pretty. At least we could force ourselves to be in that position, regardless of how we feel sort of after the show. That's one thing you definitely got to learn in this business.
Oh, after the show, I passed out after the AWL Grand Final today. I laid in bed, watched a documentary, and slept for, I don't know, 4 to 5 hours this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping, very important, guys. Sleep, get a regular schedule, at least try to do that, and then be good. We had some news that we didn't cover because we didn't talk yet last week, Carson. There's a PTR up. We got a patch.
We got the patch, and I'm trying to remember back about 3 episodes. We said best case scenario, worst case scenario for this patch that was revealed. I think just through a tweet, he said we'll have some update in June, some point in June. I think we speculated on that podcast. You said it's mostly on Tuesdays they do updates because they don't do them on weekends, and then it arrived. It arrived, I think 1 week ago. Maybe a little bit over 1 week ago when this is released. I don't know if this is what we hoped for, but it is maybe what we expected.
It's kind of interesting that we all expected balance changes, and they didn't give us balance changes. What they gave us is rank play, so Blizzard Ladder, profiles, and leaderboards.
Mm-hmm.
But no balance, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, not yet. At least maybe the balance is proven to be trickier. Like, I might have some bias here because, you know, I haven't been around for too long, and the time I was around for before these bunch of patches came through, it was really stale meta. There wasn't anything, you know, it was 1.26 and there was nothing for like 8 years. But this feels like a very chaotic, crazy sort of time to balance the game with how the meta is. So maybe it's a difficult task for them. But yeah, the ladder is, I mean, we had screenshots for this a year ago. So
yep.
It's all right.
It's bad. It's leftover work from the old team that got fired. That's what it is.
I think, I said this on my stream. I think one person could have probably done all of this in 1 week, art included. If you said if you told someone who's pretty talented, and you said you have 1 week, work 16 hours for 1 week, and get all the art done, get all the back end can't, because the back end isn't difficult. Like, how many times has Blizzard implemented a ladder with ELO and stats? Like the coding, the hacker man stuff, there's no way that this is difficult because it's all the same on every game, just with different images at the front and different names for whatever, you know, the ranks are or something like that. I think 1 week, somebody talented, they could have got this done. It took however many people, maybe it's only 2 people. It took them years and, well, close to years. And so yeah, I'm not impressed. With that being said, the ladder's not that bad.
Did you play the PTR?
I queued once when it came out, the day it came out.
Yep.
I couldn't find for about 5 minutes.
Yep.
And then I tried to cancel the search and I couldn't. And then my game crashed.
It's a wonderful experience. I couldn't find a game either. But the first season is over and Krav is the first Warcraft 3 Reforged PTR ladder champion.
Pog. Let's go, Krav.
Yeah, you got 8-0.
8-0. Wow, Sure, that was a slog of a haul of a grind for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they are releasing something, even though it's not necessarily what we expected. It's. Do you think this will be a competitor to War 3 Champions? Because that's the was the big topic last week. What happens to War 3 Champions now that there's a real quote-unquote ladder?
Yeah, I think the only thing they can't do with this ladder to compete with War 3 Champions is the amount of servers. Because when this was released, I looked up, and I'm pretty sure I found the right resource to tell me this, for Brood War and for Diablo, how many servers they have, and they actually just have East, West, Asia, and Europe. So they have one extra North American server on both Brood War and Diablo, one more than we have, but they don't have a ton of servers. So that's the one thing that I think Blizzard's not going to be able to implement. They'll be able to get the zoom that everyone wants. They'll be able to implement the map pool that everyone wants. They'll be able to give the right amount of vetoes, whatever. But they're not going to be able to implement the same amount of servers, because I imagine they're not going to add more than they've added for Brood War, a game that they didn't fuck up. So that's going to be the only downfall. With that being said, I hope it can compete, because I don't want to see the community divided at this day and age. I would rather see the community together on the same thing. And unfortunately, it's never going to be War 3 Champions that brings the whole community together, because people just aren't going to find out about it, or they're not going to want to play on a third-party client.
So you're kind of with Mr. Doug Polk, who said it's... what did he say? I don't want to misquote him here. He's a very famous man and a very rich man. He could sue my ass 10 million times. He created a Reddit thread. It's kind of cool that we have one of the biggest stars in all of poker following Warcraft 3 still.
His Counter-Strike team beat my Counter-Strike team in open like 5 years ago. He plays Counter-Strike as well. I played him.
So he said, default ladder is the most necessary thing for Warcraft 3, not War 3 Champions. He goes on, I recognize the War 3 Champions team has done an excellent job supplementing this abomination over the past couple of years, but if this game is going to bring back a lot of players, it needs to be playable in the default ladder. Until here, I 100% agree. Every multiplayer game needs their own ladder. He continues, there's no point in wasting time with a collab or trying to ensure War 3 Champions support. Noobs fuel the ecosystem and there aren't going to go on to War 3 Champions. Also, plenty of decent players, myself included, stopped playing when I had to download a third-party ladder. It needs to be a popular in-game for Warcraft 3 to grow again. Not trying to hate on War 3 Champions, they have risen to the occasion, but the most popular ranked format needs to be within the game as a default. So you agree with that?
Based. Yeah, no, I think that's a good take. I don't know the second half of it. Noobs fuel the ecosystem and all that. I mean, that's something that's either true or it's not. So I don't actually know. Maybe it could be pro players that fuel, people watching tournaments, and then those tournaments fuel new players coming in or something like that. Whatever. Who knows? But everything else, yeah, based poke. I agree with all that.
I very much disagree. I disagree as heavy as I could, because this is a very idealistic take. This is a take that in a perfect world is 100% correct. But as we all know, we're not living in a perfect world. We're living in a world where the developer and the publisher of our game is not bringing the features that we A, had 20 years ago, and B, have now with a team of very passionate and very talented developers. So you already named a lot of that stuff. We got used to Zoom. Will Blizzard ever implement Zoom? I don't know. Will they ever update the map pool? We don't know. Will they do a Legion TD ladder? We don't know. How will the matchmaking be? We have no clue, but what we know is that whatever they did in the past 3 years was absolutely not good. And we also know that everything War 3 Champions did in the past 2 years was really good, because there is very, very smart people working on this. For example, the way matchmaking works, the way the ladder system works in general with MMR, and the points you get. And War 3 Champions is also very, very progressive when it comes to implementing new stuff. like the Zoom. They said, okay, you before the Zoom was implemented, it was a hack. And they said, let's build it in. And they also have the creep indicator and stuff. Warfare Champions can do this a lot faster, and they just do this, and we don't have to rely on this. And this is the world we live in. And for the health of the game, it is much better to have a War 3 Champions team and not be dependent on Blizzard. The ideal ecosystem is, I think, to have Battlenet as basically a field to grow some talent and to get people in and get them accustomed to a game where in the placement matches, when they don't know a build order, they won't be crushed. And it's basically just for practice for the real deal, which is then War 3 Champions. No pro or semi-pro or nobody who takes this game serious will play high-level Battlenet Ladder. Why would they? There's no incentive.
I'm trying to remember of what was the ladder like for that little while before Reforged when they fixed ladder. Was that what everyone was playing on, or was it all netties for the top level players still? Were people playing? You remember what I'm talking about, right? When War 3 Arena wasn't around anymore, when it was pre-Reforged, pre-War 3 Champions, and they fixed the lag on Battlenet. And a lot of people were playing. Was everyone playing on that ladder? Was it competitive and good then, at least for Europe? Do you remember that?
Not really. It was mostly netties.
Yeah.
Everybody who had some professional ambitions was on netties. It didn't really matter if it was on 200 ping or not, because that's where the big names were. So he played on netties.
Yeah. So like I have a few takes on this. One, the Zoom thing. I think Zoom at this point is just widely regarded as just like it's okay, it's standard. But you mentioned it used to be a hack. I still think Zoom is a hack. I still think it's like not a good thing. I don't think we're gonna have Zoom, and Blizzard probably thinks this too. I think Zoom should be like limited to like 1900 at most. So often I get into ladder games versus Night Elf players, and they just immediately type Zoom 2500. It's like, great, you can see half the map. You have Ultra Vision. I still think Zoom should not be implemented as liberally as it has been, and Blizzard might think the same. For observers, I think it's excellent. Brood War has it. It's great. You can zoom out. You don't have to worry about clicking accuracy or whatever. But I don't think Zoom is just something that we just like. Blizzard needs to implement this, or we're going to go back to War 3 Champions, because I think people might have different takes on that, players included, of do we actually want Zoom? Because like I like playing how I remember Warcraft feeling and looking. I like playing a default Zoom. I think it automatically jumps you to like 100 extra, so 1650 is default. I think War 3 Champions automatically jumps you like 1750, which is what I play on now. But like I would be totally fine with and totally happy with default Zoom for everyone except for observers. Yeah, the fact that players can go to like 3000 Zoom is just, I don't think that is a good thing. So that's one thing with Zoom. The other thing, I think an ideal world could possibly be War 3 Champions stays around, but is used as like a host bot system. And if you remember host bots from back in the day, they were used for tournaments, so you could have good ping and there was multiple servers. But they were also used for things like Legion TD, like Dota 1, ladders, where you're able to have like bots implemented into the hosting structure where they keep your stats going and all that. So like I think War 3 Champions could be used for all those features, for all those different weird ladders and for custom games and for tournaments. But then just for a melee ladder, just have the baseline, which is Battlenet. I think that would be ideal for me, but I don't know if you see any flaws in any of that.
I do, because if you use Battlenet as the normal ladder, then we will have a match between Hitman and X-Lord on a European server, and then on
only
US...
if Hitman chooses to play on Europe, though.
And then on a no, the matchmaking wasn't the matchmaking global, but the server was random. Or
that
wasn't that the case at Battlenet? That you can end up on the American servers?
It was at one point, but it wasn't pre-Reforged, and it wasn't before. It isn't right now. If I queue on Americas right now, I only find versus Americans, and I'm sure they're gonna implement it like that. I'm sure they will.
Okay,
if
so
they don't, that's completely unacceptable. But yeah.
So we want to region lock the ladder.
Yeah, I think it's a good. I like region lock. I think I should be able to choose whether or not I play on bad ping. Personally,
You just want to boost your win percentage because then you play against all the bad Americans.
I played on netties as well before. I played on netties. I got owned on 150 ms, but no, I just think if I want to own noobs on 20 ms, I should be able to do that. I should not be forced into the situation where I have to like make this guy draw me because I'm on 150 ms. But he's Australian, so he's like, I always play on 150 ms. You have to play me. It's your moral obligation to play me. And then if I leave the game, I get banned from War 3 Champions because I didn't want to play on that ping. I just don't like
that
being
doesn't
forced
happen
into
when you
situations.
leave once.
They have a auto timeout system, I'm pretty sure.
They do have it now because of certain players. But
But you get what I mean, though. You get what I mean.
yeah, I don't agree.
I'm playing
but
a video game. I don't like being pigeonholed, forced into playing on this. You know, I should be able to choose to play on bad ping against good players, i.e., European ladder as an American or netties as an American, and then I should be able to choose to play on good ping against worse players, but enjoy playing more because I'm on good ping.
You think the player population is big enough for region lock?
Yes, if it's all Battlenet ladder, yes, because I think the player base will at least double if War 3 Champions, and I think the player base is probably even bigger on Battlenet. Just speaking from personal experience for queue times.
What Grubby said on his stream, was that it's currently 50-50 between Battlenet and War 3 Champions. I don't know what his sources are. I don't know where he got that from. But if it's really 50-50, and so you double the player base, but you only have 3 regions, that makes it less players per region, then you have a net loss of players that you can match. So the queue times are even higher than they are now. And especially on higher level, there will be fewer top players in that specific region, and that makes matchmaking even longer. Or worse.
Yeah, if you do accept that it's 50-50, I mean, I don't know if I believe Grubby with that. I don't know where the hell he got that from. Can you even see how many players are online? That would be a simple way to do it. I'm almost positive there's more players on Battlenet than there's on War 3 Champions. I keep wanting to say War 3 Arena because I mentioned it one time earlier.
I think that's kind of a trap you can fall into because queue times are so low, but
yeah.
Just because queue times are low, that doesn't mean that there's more players. It could just mean that the matchmaking is way more tolerant. And for example, you could match, just throwing numbers out here, a 1200 MMR player could match an 1800 MMR player. And if you allow that, then obviously you have super quick matchmaking, but the quality of games is shit.
Yeah, most of my experience on Battlenet Ladder in the past year has been 4v4, but I also know you can find FFA, because Duck uses FFA on there sometimes, but 4v4 I know, even though, again, the quality of games is shit, 4v4, before it was popular on War 3 Champions, was really the only way to play, on Battlenet was the only way to play 4v4, and you find pretty much instantly. If I go right now to NA, and I queue 4v4, I find in like 5 to 10 seconds. That's 8 people immediately. Whereas if I go check the amount of people queuing 4v4, I guess at prime time it's like 40 nowadays because it's really popular. But before it'd be like 2. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is 50-50. And in that case, then we would lose net overall per server, assuming there's a lot of people playing on Korea and not on netties. But I guess we need the numbers before we can really speculate too much, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of going a little bit back to my point that Doug Polk has a decent point in an ideal world in an active community with active devs that listen to what the people want and then implement it after a while. In a real world scenario, this is... makes no sense to quit War 3 Champions. War 3 Champions is the best that this game has ever happened to in terms of functionality and the dedication of a dev team towards this game. And where would this game be without War 3 Champions? Totally in the dumpster. We got used to so many great features they implemented, and I never see Blizzard even getting close to the amount of features that War 3 Champions provides. While War 3 Champions will get better also in the future. And I don't see the Battlenet Ladder being a real competition for War 3 champions, but rather a breeding ground for War 3 champions players.
Mm-hmm. I can see that happening. I'm going to get to the top rank on the Battlenet Ladder if it releases soon enough. I will say that. That's going to be my first priority.
Okay.
And then it's going to be to get 2K on War 3 Champions. But I think there's going to be two sides to it. And again, I want to see the numbers before I can make anything too conclusive. And I'll be able to flip-flop either way, depending on what the numbers are. I hope Blizzard could release them. I think in the past, you could do /users. Maybe that's something you could still do, although I haven't checked in a while. And then obviously War 3 champions are going to be an open book when it comes to their statistics. So we can always in the future find the best solution. Because obviously at the end of the day, the goal is to keep the game active, keep the game alive, and keep new players happy as much so we can keep them playing.
True. Amen. This patch also brought a lot of changes to the campaign. This is something that the user Cam was working on that you might know from Reddit or Hive Workshop. So all his changes are implemented that he did 2 years ago, and a lot of changes to the world editor. And I talked to these modders and map makers a little bit last week, and they were like, ooh, we're really worried they broke something. And oh boy, did they break stuff.
Oh no.
It's unbelievable. So first I asked Cam if he can Eli 5 explain in simple words what's not working and what the problem is. So the response was, it crashes when you load a map, it crashes when you test a map, and it crashes if you access certain menus in the editor. So it's basically crashing with whatever you do. Some models are fucked. And everything can basically get the editor to crash. And then he closed this description with, hey, but we got a nice UI update, right? And I said, well, that sounds pretty much like Windows Vista back in the day. And that is what the world editor is now. It's a defunctional Windows Vista for Warcraft.
Oh man, and yeah, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've opened that sucker, but it takes a while to load as well. So when you're crashing, you're pretty much wasting your whole day reopening it. That is a bummer. Is the UI update good at least? Was it helpful? Was it nice?
Doesn't look like Windows 89 anymore, but it's also not a revolution. I gotta give credit to the map makers community or to the user-generated content community. I don't want to exclude anyone. These guys are bug reporting like their life depend on it. Insane Monster posted, I think, 50 threads. Bogdan is posting basically once an hour. It's absolutely insane. And hopefully this will be fixed because as Ralle, the leader of Hive Workshop, told us in our Discord, the PTR is not a step in the right direction for modding. It's a big regression that if left untouched will probably kill modding. Crossing my fingers that they will fix them though. Yikes.
That's rough. That's because that's a whole community that maybe as Melee players we don't necessarily pay too much, at least me personally, pay too much attention to. But it is a huge community, and they are a big part of, sort of what drives the ecosystem. Going back to that point of Warcraft with new maps, and custom games are a good way for new players to get their foot in the door with Melee. That's how I started. I played custom games, and then I moved into Melee and all that. So this is a important thing to keep these maps updated and to keep people making maps, and even with Melee as well, just to keep people making maps now that we have all community driven maps for tournaments and stuff. So hopefully they get their shit together and hopefully they stop breaking things. It seems like every time they implement something, they break something.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember back in the day when people released a game, they couldn't really patch the game. They had to recall the entire game and then send out an updated disc to everyone. So game devs, get your shit together. I mean, let's stop breaking things every time you update one thing. I mean, you guys know what you're doing, all right? This isn't your first time typing code, all right?
All right. I'm not too sure if they do know what they're doing, also due to the fact how fragile this whole Reforged Warcraft thing is. 20 years old. and a lot of functionality. I can see stuff breaking, but it feels like they broke almost everything, which is crazy. So fingers crossed. And while you're at it, please bring back custom campaigns. That would be quite insane, because there's a huge scene for that has to go above and beyond to play the custom campaigns, so that would be nice. But since there's so many bugs in the world, editor Carson, Insane Monster and the rest of the community brought these issues not only to the Battlenet PTR forums, where bug reports are supposed to be done, but also to the social medias. And that resulted in one of the biggest reveals in recent Warcraft 3 history.
Yeah. Apparently, we're actually getting responses from people now. That's incredible. And more than just responses, too, Neil.
Yeah. Insane Monster tweeted at Mike Ybarra, this guy from the patch announcement. He's the president of Blizzard Entertainment. And after Insane Monster, he did like a call to arms that the UGC community should reach out and let their voice be heard. And many people did that. I forgot the name, actually, of the viewer, of the community member, but Mike Ybarra, he answered to Corporal Glenn, is the member of the community, who basically said the same, like, fix the editor, yada yada. And Mike Ybarra says there's likely a correct mechanism to submit feedback for it. The Windstalker runs the team, but the best way for feedback is to submit it via the correct process. And then the Windstalker replies, noted, I'll pass it along to the team. Carson, just like that, in half a sentence of a tweet, after 2.5 years, we know who leads this team.
Yeah, it's not so hard, is it, Blizzard? Although I suppose they probably just hired, people maybe recently. I guess there was news on that, whatever it was, like 6 months ago. But that's all it takes. That's all we need. We don't ask for much. I mean, that's all it is. That's all we needed. And now we're all happy, except for me. I choose to be pessimistic. But that now everyone's stoked. Now everyone's like, oh my god, my favorite game is back. They tweeted at us. Yeah, it is nice to finally have some. To have a reciprocal relationship with the game dev of the game we're all trying to keep alive here, man.
Yeah, a little bit of information for everybody who didn't follow the news. At the Windstalker is Holly Longdale, was working on EverQuest for a long time as part of Blizzard for a couple of years now. And according to the add-on reveal for World of Warcraft Dragonflight, she is the... I'm so bad with titles. I'm sorry if I fuck this up, but executive producer, I think, for World of Warcraft Classic. And that means that she's not exclusively in charge of Warcraft, but she does WoW Classic, and as part of that position is also responsible for Warcraft 3. So this is really interesting, as we are not in one team with StarCraft Remastered, StarCraft 2, and Heroes of the Storm, the classic games, but we are with Warcraft now.
Yeah, and it's nice that it's sort of there's almost more accountability in a way. If we had somebody that was just working on Warcraft alone or just working on the classic games, those are all sort of shut out to the other communities. That is like WoW and like the big names, WoW and Overwatch, kind of a big name. So it's cool that I think that gives more accountability to them in a way, where if they fuck up, then they're not just fucking up for our community, they're fucking up for other communities, and we can sort of call them out. And then the WoW people can be like, hey, you did this. And then, we can be like, you did this. And it might help in a way. But I guess, Blizzard's probably past the point of giving a shit of what people say about them, honestly. But maybe it's a good thing.
You don't think they care about their 0.2 Metacritic review on Diablo Immortal?
Oh God, is it still plummeting, or is it going up? Because the game probably is better than people are giving it credit for. But I did watch Rich Campbell spend $26,000 to get one of those gems we talked about a few weeks ago. Nice, well done, Rich. Claps.
Yeah, it's back on a... Well, it actually doubled its score. It's now back on a 0.4. It's great, of course.
What average for Blizzard now, honestly?
But for me, this is so weird, because for the developers, it should be more easy to do similar work, right? Because StarCraft is based on a ladder, StarCraft Remastered is based on a ladder, Heroes of the Storm is definitely closer to Warcraft 3 than World of Warcraft is to Warcraft 3. So this feels like you do twice the work with two different teams.
Possibly. It could be more of a... I wonder if they wanted like, hey, who wants to do this? And then show of hands, whoever wants to do it, and they're like, you got the job.
And nobody raises hands, and then you draw straws.
Yeah, because it's like if you're into WoW, and obviously people working at Blizzard working on a specific game, they're passionate about those games, those titles. So maybe if she works on WoW for a long time, maybe she started off in Warcraft or something like that. Who knows? But it is I guess it looks good, if you're working on WoW and Warcraft 3. I mean, because I know a lot of when I tell people, oh, I'm a Warcraft 3 caster, if they ask me what I do, and they manage to gouge it out of me, they always say World of Warcraft, and I have to go no. So maybe it looks good with those two side by side for them.
Okay, we'll see about that. Apparently, Miss Longdale is very good at monetizing older games. Did that at EverQuest, is doing that at World of Warcraft Classic, and our very own Witty has a comment to that. I posted a YouTube video about that, this breaking news, and Witty's reply was, no, with, let me count, a lot of O's, Carson. That is the biggest amount of O's I've seen in a long time. Let me check. How many is it? Wait, what does it say? Word, don't let me down. A lot of O's.
Like, are you copy and pasting that into Word right
now? But I don't get it. Anyway.
It's like we're counting jelly beans. My guess is 43, but we'll never know.
Oh, it's way more. It's way more than 43. But yeah, we probably never know. I just selected 10, and it's definitely less than 20%. So a lot of O's. Witty. And then people were asking, Witty, why are you so negative? What's up, Witty? What's wrong? And he replies, she is responsible, partly at least, for TBC Classic shipping with boosts. This is, I guess, where you can get a new account, but has the high, or you have the high level already, so you don't have to go through that grinding stage of World of Warcraft, but you gotta pay for it. Continues to say, which the original never had. It kills the original feeling of the game. Not to mention their super delayed plan to bring the Burning Crusade content much slower, as they knew players would be able to rush it, as we are much better now. Instead of just giving the game as it was, they staggered it, butchered it with monetizations such as mounts, flashing Hearthstone animations, and boosts. Witty is not a fan of our new leader.
Yeah. Well, I know it's sort of a split, maybe not 50-50, but I do know some people like boosts because a lot of people are just playing for the end game and they don't really care about the leveling process. I know my brother played a lot of WoW. I never really was into it, but I know, the better you are as a player, the less you care about the grind to 60 or 70 or whatever it is at this point. So maybe that is a little bit split, but yeah, monetization is just really the plague of Blizzard. They always want that Chinese money. Always. That's why they make it so many mobile games. That's why they monetize in certain ways. Because it's like we all call out the bullshit, but China is they love their monetization. They love that format for games, and that's what they're going for. That's what Activision, Microsoft, whatever the fuck they are, Blizzard is going for. They don't care about us. They care about the people who are spending that money.
I'm getting Michael Jackson feels from you, Carson. I don't want to think they don't really care about us.
Oh, hell yeah.
But you know what the funny is, Mr. Carson? There was heavy backlash from the community in China over Diablo Immortal. And Diablo Immortal is not released in China, nor does it have a release date in China.
Really? Because
yes,
that's why they made it. That's why they made it.
It's held back.
That's awesome.
Maybe because of
hilarious.
the amount of monetization or whatever. We don't know the reason, but according to our dear friends of Cellular News who mentioned us last week, shout out to you guys, it's held back at the moment. So they are missing out on that sweet Chinese money.
Yeah, because you think about like games like PUBG Mobile and stuff. Massive success in China. It's so huge. It might be one of the biggest games in the world for that reason, PUBG Mobile. And that's obvious. That's why Blizzard's going to mobile games. I mean, come on. So the fact that they can't reach their number one market. So I wonder how much they've actually made. You look at these big streamers that spend a lot on Diablo Immortal, but how many average whales are really spending on it, I wonder. Can't be too much. I hope it's a failure. I really do. I hope they horribly failed with it.
Wait, what did Blizzard earn with Diablo Immortal? Diablo Immortal has reportedly earned over 24 million in total revenue.
Is that a lot for a new release? If we think about games that are maybe $60 a pop.
It has
300,000 purchases.
Well, it has 10 million players, so an average of $24 per player. It's well, I guess depends on the longevity of the game then, if it's a success or not. But
true.
Guess it starts slower than a AAA title because it's not $60 but free to play. But I would say for a free to play title, that's pretty good. And then we'll see where it goes. But hey, who cares?
I suppose they've made it the amount that maybe they put into it. 25 million to make a game, maybe. Who knows? I don't know how much goes into that.
I have no idea either. We're just talking absolute bullshit here.
Yeah.
Nobody should listen to us when we talk about anything else but Warcraft 3.
Unless you hear me say fuck Blizzard, then you should listen to me and repeat that.
Or you want to give me your whale money so I can play Diablo Immortal. That would also be very nice.
True. Neo does love to spend to win. If only War 3 champions had that, Neo.
I never did that in any game. I never bought a boost or whatsoever.
Oh no, I buy skins. I spent a couple $100 on Valorant skins.
Well, they don't boost your performance though, right?
Oh, they do because it pumps me up.
Well, okay, the psychological factor, of course, but
yeah,
no. I'm old school on that, man. I'm old school.
Yeah, true.
I see that the community manager is responding to people that are sending the bug reports and also posting some technical stuff. So they are fixing it and interacting with people who report bugs. It's all these small steps that give me a little hope. It's crazy to see that after the Reforged launch, the patch notes, they dropped and the community member was gone again. Or the community manager was gone until the next patch.
Yeah, I mean, they're around until they get laid off, like Blizzard always does. So we'll see how long this team lasts for. Hopefully, long enough to fix the fucking game.
Fingers crossed, guys. And if you need some help, if you need any advisors, reach out. You know where to find us. All DMs open. We're also in steady contact with the European community management, so people know how to find us and how to interact with us. Twitter DMs, Discord DMs, email, everywhere. You can send me a postcard if you want to.
Yep.
That would be nice, actually.
Postcard. Yeah, that would be nice. It's not done enough. I got a postcard for my birthday from a family member that I haven't spoken to in like 20 years. I was like, hey, this is nice. I got a card. So yeah, it is nice. It is nice.
What else is there in the world of Warcraft, Carson?
There's some tournaments. Some tournaments that we've both been casting. You, first of all, have been casting AWL.
Yes.
Which concluded, I guess, on release of this a few days ago, but actually when we're recording this last night. How'd that go?
AWL is super fun because it's just a lot of games. It's chill because I'm casting from a clean feed. I don't have to do the production myself. I'm just sitting here and having a good time. So I casted this for 2.5 weeks already. Group stage was rather unimpactful. There were some crazy games though. Thunder, Zeppelin, 1-0 Zeppelin dropping Thunder's base with a Shredder and a Crypt Lord. It was super wild. Moon defeating 1-0 on the clean 2-0. That was the resurgence of Moon, I think. So that was cool to see. And Remind made it to the top 4. That was like, what the fuck? He basically won only Night Elf mirrors, though, throughout the entire tournament, and a game against Lucael. But apart from that, only Night Elf mirrors, and, okay, in the semifinal, he really had no chance. Also in the game for third, he had no chance. But it was cool to see Remind with an impressive run. I think this guy, when he's in a retirement home, 75 years old, and someone challenges him to a Night Elf mirror, he still beats their asses.
Yeah, I mean, Remind, he definitely had the easiest of anyone, that's for sure. Yeah, he had to beat Foggy when Foggy was probably on bad ping. I imagine this was played on NetEase.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if, on NetEase, so Foggy would have been on like 200 MS almost. And then Lucael, he lost to Happy in like 14 minutes the other day. So easy run, but it was really cool. I mean, I was laying in bed last night. I watched the third place match before I passed out. I didn't get the chance to see the finals, but I was like, damn, I'm watching a Korean tournament, Remind versus Lin. The first map was like Last Refuge or something like that, or the second map. I was like, damn, this is like reminds me of the good old days. This reminds me of like, watching games from 2008 or something like that, 2009. It was a blast from the past, even though Remind got destroyed and played some weird strats. Straight tech tier 3 mass huntress.
Yep. But that
Lin played perfect, but
that's how Colorful defeated Lin, because that's another story. I was 100% sure that the final would be 1-0 versus Lin again, just as it was in season 1. But Colorful showed up to the semifinal and ended Lin's 7-month win streak versus Night Elf.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I haven't got to watch those games yet, but on Northern Isles, he did that Mass Huntress style again. That's what you're saying. That's what I'm looking at right now.
He played the Rush. He basically played exactly what Remind played today. Rush tier 3, get orbs, and a handful of hunts, and that's all you need.
That is insane. I hate Night Elf so much. I hate it. Oh, man. But, hey, man. If you beat Lin with it, whatever. I mean, Lin is just insane in the matchup, so that's a big win for Colorful, a big second place.
Yeah, as 1-0.
Did get destroyed by 1-0 though, but
yeah, I felt he was really close at times. It was a cool series that included tower pushes by 1-0 against Colorful, insane back and forth, and then Colorful being the Chinese Foggy, making this one mistake that breaks your neck in this matchup. But I feel today Colorful wasn't his best day, so well-deserved victory. But don't let you guys fool you by the score of 4-0. It was closer than that, and I had tons of fun. Thank you, Afrika TV, for inviting me to cast this. It was good. It was very good.
Yeah. Shout out Africa. They're dope. I love those guys. For one, this is an incredible tournament. This is like one of the best tournaments that maybe flies a little bit under the radar, but it's just such an excellent tournament. And then in the past, me and Ricky did the card on Africa, and the people there were like super communicative. They're all really, really cool guys. They sent us like overlays and stuff without asking for anything in return. They're like, hey, do your tournament here. They're great over there. So shout out. Go check out their streams. Check out the tournaments. They don't get enough viewers. They don't get as many as they should over there. But excellent platform with good people.
You were casting show matches, Happy vs. Lin and Happy vs. Moon.
Yes.
How was that?
Quite the privilege. Even though it was at a horrible time and I was very tired. It was great to be able to cast that high level of games. And now it is off race. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. The Show Cup is now. It is 4 best of 2s. The first best of 2 is main race. So just saying Happy versus Lin. it was undead versus orc. And then the next series after that is alternative races. You get to choose, but it can't be your main race. Most people choose random because why wouldn't you? You have a chance to get your main race with random. So it ended up being random versus random for a best of 2. And then you have alternative versus main race. So for Lynn versus Happy, it was undead versus Lynn's random. And then again, reversing that, Lynn's orc versus Happy's random. So 8 maps we got to see. And it was cool. I mean, I would still prefer to see just a best of 7 between their main races. I do think the novelty is already kind of worn out on me. But it was fun. They both ended up being Happy and Lynn and Happy and Moon, the 2 I got to cast, ended up being, spoiler alert, tied 4-4. So it shows that Happy can be broken when it comes to his off race. And it also showed that everyone has a good orc. Everyone's good at farseer headhunters at the top level, which was cool to see. But yeah, they were fun. They were fun maps. Nothing too unexpected. Moon did really, really good. Managed to beat Happy twice in Night Elf versus Undead. One in the random versus alternative race. Happy got Undead one of those times, and then one time in the main race versus main race. So Moon looking pretty strong against Undead.
Yeah, after beating 1-0 in AWL, this is just another exclamation mark from him in that matchup. Feels like the narrative is slowly, and probably only on the very top level, changing a little bit, that Undead, after like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they seem untouchable in this matchup. They defended all the pushes, they withstand all the early game pressure, and they won the late game. And now feels like Night Elves are rising a little bit, to me at least.
Yeah, I think you could say that, but the thing about this matchup is both sides have so many strategies. Like, the minute that Undead becomes favored, Night Elves can just start experimenting with Demon Hunter, they can start experimenting with Tower Rushes, Warden, whatever. You can start experimenting with Tavern Hero first, which we've seen. And the minute Undead start to not be favored, you can start experimenting with, Lich, fast expansions. You can start experimenting with, aggressive early ghouls, Gargs, different tier 3 timings, the good old, Terra, also known as 1-2-0, early Frostworm push. There's both sides have so much versatility in this matchup that I think no matter who it favors at a certain time, players like Happy and players like Moon are always going to find new and creative ways to win in the matchup, especially when it comes to Happy.
Exactly. So that's it for the podcast. I think our schedule is pretty cleared, as Mr. Demo Man is in the hospital. I'm at the Mainstream Festival looking at old punk bands. And Carson, well, what are you doing? Why are you not available?
I am, well, again, I have another birthday on Sunday, but I'm going to Vancouver. I'm taking the boat to go see Bill Burr on Saturday. I have tickets for a little while, so I'm going to go see a comedy show.
The legendary Bill Burr, the greatest of this time, I would say.
Yeah.
I am very jealous and very happy for you that you get this experience. Okay.
Yeah, it should be fun.
You are excused. So this weekend, no Back2Warcraft casts. That's rare. We will have our weekly, of course. Carson is there for that. And then we will hopefully try to do as many replay casts as possible early next week. And of course the podcast, and bring you all the news. And we have something lined up for the next episode. We might have guests again.
Yes.
But this time I want you there, Carson.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, sounds good. Then have a wonderful day. And check out CORSAIR, because they release great new gear very, very frequently. The greatest gear, actually. The award-winning gear. The Esports Award, Hardware Manufacturer of the Year, is CORSAIR. You get 10% discount on their products. Exactly. Great that you show that into the camera when we have no video this time. Very smart.
Right, yeah.
Very smart of you, Carson. But hey, in spirit, the CORSAIR mouse is greeting you. Also, it's getting warmer and warmer and warmer, and Holy Energy is providing you with great supplements. If you want energy throughout the day, but don't drink coffee because it's too hot, and don't want energy drinks, or the regular energy drinks, because there's too much sugar in, Holy Energy. It's a wonderful alternative for that. Fruity flavors and no sugar.
grab it. It's wonderful for the summertime. Also here, coupon code Back2Warcraft, 10% discount. And our sponsor of this month is Total AV. If you're tired of having an antivirus and malware protection and a VPN and everything in separate programs, Total AV is there for you, everybody. All combined in just one tool, and you get a big discount for their subscription. What's usually 80 euros is now a 20 euro subscription. Total AV, check it out. Use the link totalav.back2warcraft.com for that special deal. Protects you from malware and viruses, and it's an ad blocker, and you got a VPN, and keeps your data safe, etc., etc., etc. You can use it on your PC, you can use it on your tablet, you can use it on your phone, you can probably use it on your old calculator that you used for school. I don't know, but Total AV is there for you. That's it, Carson. Do you have any final closing words?
Well, we'll see you guys next week. Wish me luck on the ladder as I try to get to 2,000 MMR before the ladder closes for War 3 Champions this season. Wish me luck, guys.
True. Ladder Snapshot is on It's on Warcraft 3's birthday, and that is next Sunday, July 3rd. So get them ranking points in. And be kind and support Back to Warcraft if you can. Bye-bye.